this tattoo was an odyssey. Everything started in 2017. Between 2017 and 2020-21, I was working with Tattoo Smart. I was working in 2017 on a tutorial on how I create my biomechs and how I apply my designs on 3D models so that the client have the chance to see pretty much how the final result could be. And while I was working on this tutorial, I remember there was this guy that asked me for a tattoo sleeve, a biomechanical tattoo sleeve. And so I told him, look, I'm working on this project for Tattoo Smart. So if you're okay with that, I will do the best biomechanical tattoo I can produce, because of course I want to stand out with my work and with this tutorial. So if you give me total freedom, I will try to give you the best tattoo that I can. And he said, okay, no problem. So I started working and I created the tutorial. After the summer he came back, but unfortunately he told me, I love the design, but I'm not feeling ready to get a full sleeve tattoo. Sometimes happens. To me happened about, I don't think, more than 3 or 4 times in 30 years of career, but sometimes happens. Someone maybe get excited about the idea of getting a tattoo, and then if they don't get it immediately, maybe they have the time to think, to consider, reconsider, and maybe they change their idea. They get a smaller tattoo. Sometimes they don't even get the tattoo. But anyway, it happens. So the design went in my portfolio for future clients that maybe could be interested in this kind of work. And it stayed there for about a couple of years. I think in the middle or in the end of 2020, this guy from Mantua called me, and he told me he wanted a full leg sleeve tattoo in a biomechanical style. So we had this meeting. We talked about what kind of style, what kind of stuff he wanted in his tattoo. So I showed him my portfolio and all the design that I have ready at the time that could be tattooed. Or of course, anytime that I tattoo someone of my design, I take them off from my portfolio, because in my opinion, every tattoo should be unique and thought of for the person that wear that, and not just a copy or whatever. So he saw this design and he fell in love with that, and so he decided that he wanted that. Okay, cool, but the design was thought for a sleeve, an arm, not for a leg. So I had to make some adaptation, modify here and there. Not something so difficult, but anyway it had to be done, because anyway the glutes is like the shoulder and the knee is like the elbow. So, but of course you have to reverse the part of the part that goes on the elbow must go on the knee, and so the inside of the elbow must go in the back of the knee. So of course you have to do some changes to make it work, but anyway that work had to be done. So when we were ready, we started, but unfortunately he's not a very lucky guy. He had I don't know how many times he had an operation, a surgical operation on the leg, because he had this accident while playing basket. After that, he lost his job. Then he had to find another job. The new job, he didn't get enough money as the first one, so we had to wait again. And then after that, he had a couple of car accidents, so we have to wait also for that. On top of that, his pain tolerance was unpredictable. We did the work in, if I remember well, I think 16 sittings, but just a couple of them he was able to stand for, I think, 4 hours. All the other sittings was just 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. So it's not the best way to work on a big project, because if you think about a leg basically is like tattooing a couple of full backs. So it's pretty big, it's full of details, and so when the sessions are so short, of course the time it takes longer, of course. So from the start to the end we had to wait about 4 years, because on top of that he had this Air Jordan tattoo on his leg, and it had to be removed. And so I said, okay, no problem, you can start removing that while we're working, because anyway the work that we have to do is so much that while I'm working on your thigh or in other parts of your leg, you will have the time to laser that old tattoo so that we can move on. Unfortunately, he didn't do it. He waited the second last to start removing the tattoo. So anytime that I was seeing him, well, not anytime, because of course while you're working on a project, if you have a regular basis in which you're working every month or every 2 months or every 3 weeks on a tattoo, of course you remember everything, like placing the camera to take a video. But sometimes I forgot, so you will see that in the video there are jumps between a stage to the other, and because sometimes I forgot to place the camera, because the waiting before a sitting and another one could be 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and so it was crazy like that. So at the same time, whenever I remembered, I asked him, did you start removing it? Did he start removing it? And he said, no, I have to call. So he waited the second last. So I had to wait 10 or 11 months between the second last and the last session. So it's crazy, 4 years to complete this work. It took long, but I love it. I think it's one of my best tattoos, even if lately I'm trying to detach myself from biomechs that are too mechanical, almost robotics. This is not robotic, and that's what I like. I enjoy every kind of tattoo, every kind of biomechs, robotics, mechanics and stuff like that, but I prefer more abstract ones. This one is mechanical, but at the same time it's not too robotic, because anyway, when your body changes shapes, because maybe you gain weight or you train yourself or whatever, of course the body deforms a little bit. And if you have something so precise like a mechanical part, even worse if you have a portrait or something like that, it could deform in strange ways and lose completely its appeal. So I prefer to do something more abstract, even if I love this one. And anyway, as I said, even robotics one, I love anything that has to do with biomechanicals. I love them. So anyway, 4 years to complete this work, and I think it's a bit too much to complete a tattoo, even a big one like this one. But anyway, as somebody says, the stuff that require more sacrifices is the more appreciated. Yeah, maybe. But on top of that, because really this guy, anyway, at the end of the tattoo, we had to meet for one last time, because he wanted to discuss also his arm and his back, because he wanted to create a project that basically was my project. I told him, you're still in my idea, that my idea was having a biomech that starting from the left arm was moving toward my torso and to the right leg. So he wanted to do the opposite, and instead of moving through the torso, moving through the back. But anyway, we had to discuss that project, and of course it would be the last meeting to evaluate the leg, like evaluating the last sitting. Sometimes maybe there is some little touch-ups to do and something like that, and also to take decent pictures of the tattoo completely healed, and well, completely healed, the last session, because of course the first part is 4 years old. But anyway, and to take pictures and videos of the leg. Unfortunately, he had another, well, not exactly an accident. He got his driver license retired, because I don't know what happened. But anyway, so I didn't have a chance to take pictures and videos of this tattoo, especially for my book that it will coming out at the end of the year. Follow me on my social if you are interested in this book about my 30 years of career in the tattoo industry. So luckily, with my directions and goodwill from his part and his girlfriend, they were able to take very good pictures and very good video of the work, and I'm grateful for that, because this is one of my favorite works, and so not having it in my portfolio would be a shame. Also because maybe people that don't do this work, they don't realize how important it is, because of course you do your art, but your art is not a painting, is not a print, is not something that you can reproduce or keep it for yourself. So you end up just with a few pictures and a video, but it's like your baby, it's like yeah, your creation, and so it's very sad when you don't have the chance to have immortalized in a picture, a decent picture, as you wish, as you will. So I am grateful to them, because they did a very, very good job. You will see that in my book, and also in the final part of this video, where you will see the video of the heel tattoo. So I don't know what else to say. This was really, well, you're seeing now the final session. I never did a job that took so long, never. So yeah, it was a long wait to see this work completed, but finally we did it. And so I'm very happy to show you this work in its magnificence. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy the video. Subscribe to my channel, click on the bell, and follow me for the release of my book that will be, I know it will be in November. So thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.